Brawlers, what is up? Welcome back to Throwin Hands as Breck and I will be reviewing UFC 261. Best card in recent memory, but Breck, where's Dan?
Dude, he's stuck in the shadow realm once again. It's like he was so close to we saw him, like he was so close to getting out of it. We like could see him, and then some force like pulled him back into the shadow realm.
And we don't know what that force was. He
Maybe
needs to come home, Breck.
he needs to come home. Maybe Usman like punched him and draw him back in,
Completely. It's entirely possible.
It's entirely possible.
100%. All right. Breck, I think we're gonna have to go over every single fight.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. Liang Na versus Ariane Carnelossi. Liang Na drops Carnelossi in the first 5 seconds of the fight, but Carnelossi, man, more conditioned, stronger it seemed like, and got the TKO finish from top position. Breck, what were your thoughts on this banger?
Dude, when they like sprinted at each other, that was the most hype thing ever. Like the first 5 seconds of that fight, the crowd started to get like pumped up. Like, oh, the crowd made this fight so good. Like you said, she dropped her, but then her wrestling was obviously a little, or her ground game rather was a little bit better, and she got the finish via strikes. But like, man, the energy that this fight, like, it's a set the tone for the night,
Dude, I got chills when Bruce Buffer came out for the first time and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are live." And then the crowd just started to roar. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this feels normal.
I know, it was great.
Dude, I know. Dude, those people in Florida do not care at all about this virus. It's crazy.
No, but I mean, you had to be like tested and stuff to get in. So
yeah, I respect it. I
love it, man.
All right, next fight of the night by far. Arie Clank versus Jeffrey Molina. Arie Clank winning the first half of the fight, I'd say, but then Jeffrey Molina came on strong in the second half, finding his range, and he pieced him apart in that third round. It was a clinic. It was like a Colby Covington type piecing apart. Just bunch of cardio and just a bunch of strikes. Not hitting you too hard, but he hits you with 4 or 5 within 3-4 seconds. What are your thoughts on this one, man?
Dude, this was a banger. Like, just setting the tone for the whole night again. Just violence all night. And this fight, it was my fight of the night. And both guys got dropped multiple times. Molina had like 80 more, significant strikes or whatever, 60 or 70 won on the fight. But I mean, Molina was clearly winning the fight, but I mean, he got dropped. The bell kind of saved him, right? At the end there, like he got rocked. And I mean, if there's another 10 seconds, he might lose the fight.
Yeah, it's crazy. Fight of the night by far. This set the tone. Kazula Vargas versus Rong Zhu. Rong Zhu is only 7 months older than I am, which is kind of crazy. First UFC fighter born in the 2000s versus Kazula Vargas, a seasoned vet. Rong Zhu had a bunch of problems in this fight because of visa issues with his coaches and everything. But I think he turned it on and he figured it out in the third round, but just a little bit too late. What were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, he started slow and never, like, if it was a 5-rounder, he might go on to win, but Vargas started faster and it won him the fight. It was a battle of like the UFC, what do you call it? Like Apex Center. Like one guy was from the Performance Institute in Vegas. One was from the one in like Singapore, I believe.
Shanghai.
And then, two really young, talented guys that I think we'll see a lot going forward. Like we'll see these guys more.
I mean, because Vargas is 35, so he's not exactly a young whippersnapper, but
no, but young in the UFC. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I don't think he's on in the UFC.
Yeah. All right. Dana
this was awesome.
Batgarel versus Kevin Natividad. Dude, slept him. Boom. One he came in. He Natividad was charging, and Batgarel just hit him on the button and ended the fight. What were your thoughts, man? That set the tone for all these were tone setters, man.
It was an awesome fight, man. When they were reading the countries and they said this guy was from Mongolia, I was like, oh, this fight's over. Like, I was like, you have to be a savage. If you live in Mongolia, you're a savage. You know what I mean? You've endured some hardships in life. So this guy, I mean, 50 seconds in, hits Natividad with a check left hook, drops him. I mean, this guy looks so good at bantamweight. I mean, I don't know how you feel. Like, we could see this guy going ranked maybe next. Maybe not next, but he'll be fighting ranked fighters in short time.
Yes. I completely agree. But Kevin Natividad, young guy, he'll get back into it. So this fight, Pat Sabatini versus Tristan Connolly. I mean, Pat Sabatini really just controlled this fight. There's really nothing much to talk about here. It was just total control. That's how I saw this fight. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm surprised at the takedown numbers. It seemed like Sabatini had him on the ground.
I think it's wrong.
It's wrong, right? He took him down multiple times.
Let me look at UFC stats. Hold on.
Because didn't he have him in like a rear naked choke like multiple times?
He attempted a lot of subs.
Yeah, and the first round bell kind of saved Connolly. He was definitely gonna be slept there if the round didn't run out. But yeah, Sabatini from Philly, I believe.
Yeah. Wannabe New Yorkers.
Yeah, looked really good. Looked really good, man. His ground game was great. It really wasn't not much on the feet this fight, you know?
No, not at all.
A lot of those strikes that Connolly landed in these strike numbers were like just short little hammer fists that didn't do any damage, you know? Like,
apparently Sabatini only had one takedown.
It seems wrong, right?
That seems wrong. Who knows?
The whole fight I don't know.
Who knows? I thought he had him on the ground for longer. But anyway, Connolly, he should try 55 because he beat Michel Pereira at 170.
He's dropping down to featherweight?
Yeah, he dropped. This was a 45 bout. Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
I know. He should go up to 55, see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. If you're fighting at 170, you should not be dropping down to featherweight.
No. All right. That's some Diego Sanchez stuff right there.
Yeah.
All right. Carl Roberson versus Brendan Allen. Brendan, this is looking to be a great fight until the heel hook, because that was a nasty heel hook. They both had each other's legs, but Brendan Allen just locked it in quicker. I think Brendan Allen's going to be a problem in this division, man. What do you think?
I agree. Yeah, this was quick, man. And yeah, I mean, Carl Robinson had a heel hook, like you said, but it really wasn't much of a threat. Like,
had no leverage.
Brendan Allen, like, you could not see Carl Robinson's leg. Like, it was in Brendan Allen. Like, you're like, after like 10 seconds, you're like, he's gonna tap. Like, and then once he got a little crank on the knee, he just had to tap. So, like you said, really impressive by Brendan Allen.
Yeah, I think he gets a ranked opponent next, possibly. Let's check at the rankings real quick. They're not updated, but good enough. Sean Strickland could be a good fight for him.
Yeah. I mean, just excited to see him fight going forward, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he'll be back quick. Nothing much. He didn't get hit much, so.
Didn't get hit. All
right. I don't know how Dwight Grant won this fight. I know the numbers say, he had like 16 more significant strikes, but Stefan Sekulic was working submissions the whole fight, it seemed like. I don't know. What were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it didn't seem like Dwight Grant was even a little surprised that he won the fight at the end there. Yeah, Stefan Sekulic to me won this fight. The strikes don't show it, but those takedowns by Sekulic, like, were the story of the fight. Like, he controlled most of the fight on the ground. And I mean, you look at the strikes he threw. I mean, he was so proficient with his strikes, 66% compared to 33. I think this was terrible judging on this one. Like, the judges were pretty consistent all throughout the night, and this was the one hiccup they had.
Yeah. They really need to start having fighters become judges.
One second.
Yeah, no sweat. Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. Like, why aren't fighters judging other fighters? They know their stuff.
The humidifier was making too much noise. I didn't want it to pick up on the podcast.
All right, yeah. So I think they need to start having fighters judge fights.
I agree. Like former fighters, retired fighters. It gives them jobs.
Or some coaches.
Or coaches, yeah.
Or hardcore fans.
I don't know about hardcore fans. We will talk about later. I don't know if you saw the PFL used like a fan vote.
Yeah.
On one of the fights. That was cool. But yeah, I think former fighters should be the judges because a lot of the fighters, fighting is all they have. And then, if you make them a judge, they got a job and good stuff for them,
Super necessary.
Super necessary.
All right. Anyway, Cowboy Oliveira versus Randy Brown. Dude, a one-armed rear naked choke. What the hell was that? What were your thoughts? That was nuts.
That was crazy, man. I thought this would be a longer fight. I was kind of rooting for Cowboy Oliveira. I don't know how you felt because he's always entertaining. Yeah. But Randy Brown is huge for this weight class, dude. He is so tall. His reach is insane. And I mean, he was kind of winning on the feet before, he knocked him down, and then one arm rear naked choke, which Joe Rogan said he's never seen it before. I mean, that was so rare. And then the whole post fight, like flipping off Oliveira, and then in the interview, he's like, "What was the animosity about?" He's like, "Come to my Twitch." It was like, just tell us what happened, man.
Yeah, I feel like let's talk about Joe Rogan for a second, man. He adds nothing of value to the commentary.
I'm gonna need you to retract your statement. Okay, I'm not gonna let Joe Rogan slander be taken apart on this podcast. For the last 10 pay-per-views, all these people on Twitter, "Oh, Joe Rogan stinks. Joe Rogan stinks." He was awesome yesterday, Jacob. You're lying. He was awesome in that pay-per-view.
He wasn't bad.
Him and DC were amazing on this pay-per-view. The crowd, a lot of people don't realize, like, a lot of the fighters feed off energy. So does the commentary team. DC and Rogan were so energy. The crowd gave him so much energy. I don't know, man. I'll defend Rogan to the day I die because that guy has brought so many fans to the UFC that people don't even realize. Like he's been there since like UFC 5 or whatever. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
my piece.
Okay, Joe Rogan wasn't bad on Saturday, but I want him to be like that every pay-per-view.
Yes, I understand. But there was fans. Is there you know what I mean? Like those ones before there was no fans. So maybe that's why,
maybe who knows. But DC said he'll cut down to 205 to fight Jake Paul in a mixed martial arts bout.
Dude, that was crazy. Jake Paul will never agree to an MMA fight ever.
Dude, Jake Paul looked genuinely terrified that DC was up.
Yeah, and then like his security guards came and he started talking. Like DC talked about it on the DC on Hawani today.
Yeah.
Like the security guards came and then Jake Paul started heckling him.
Dude, his face got so red. It was hilarious. DC put him in his place.
He did. Yeah.
I don't play those games, Joe.
No. Shout out to the crowd for chanting F Jake Paul the whole night too. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was hilarious. All right, to the main card. Anthony Smith versus Jimmy Croot. This was a good fight, man. It was a great first round. And then Anthony Smith hit that nerve, the perennial nerve, and Jimmy got dead leg, but he took him down three times. Smith down 3 times with the dead leg. I mean, this was about to be a banger, bro, but I don't know. I agree with the stoppage though. It was the right decision, but Anthony Smith and that jab too. Woo! What were your thoughts, man?
Yeah, well, what a fight. Anthony Smith looks so much better since Glover Teixeira literally knocked the teeth out of him.
Yeah.
The last 2 fights, he's looked so much improved. And like you said, Jimmy Croot is so tough, took him down. When his leg, he hit that nerve, and I didn't even know that nerve cuts your leg off, basically, just deadens your leg. And then Jimmy Croot lands a takedown with one leg, which was pretty impressive.
Well, he landed 3.
I think one was before. I'm not quite. I can't remember. I think one of them had been before. But Anthony Smith's jab too, like they were talking about, was crisp too. It was like a piston. So Anthony Smith, I don't know how you felt. I think he was on the feet winning the fight.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
it would have been nice to see this fight go longer. But credit to Anthony Smith for the win, and credit for them to not, force Jimmy Croot out there, because he would have got injured way worse if he tried to go out and fight it more.
Yeah, that was a great decision. So Jimmy Croot and Johnny Walker will both be coming off of injuries. I think that's the fight to make.
I love it. I love the fight.
And then I think Anthony Smith should get the loser of Reyes Prochaska. What do you think?
Yeah, Anthony Smith has to fight a top 5 guy next. Even the winner, I think you could argue even the winner.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but Anthony Smith's a little older, but he's still going to be fighting for a little bit. But nothing to take away. Like Jimmy Croot, to me, will still be in the top 5 of this division within a couple of years. You know what I mean? I think he'll be.
There's no question.
He's so talented, man. He just got hit with a super perfect kick.
Dude, the light heavyweight division's future is so bright.
It is, man. It's like everybody thought it was so terrible, but these young guys are starting to make it look good.
Yeah, I mean, you got the Bear Jew in there still.
Oh, dude, he's one of my favorites. He's fighting coming up soon.
All right, I'll let you take this one, Breck. Hall versus Wideman.
Oh, this was so sad, man. This was the saddest fight of the night for the obvious reasons of Chris Wideman snapping his leg on the one strike, as you see on the stats there. Landed one strike and broke his leg in the same spot that Anderson Silva broke his leg. So some MMA deity, some MMA god, has not forgiven Chris Wideman for stopping prime Anderson Silva. And it was so, I don't know how you feel. I was sick for 10, 15 minutes after that. Like the crowd was just like in shock. It was bad.
Well,
it was really bad.
So I saw the kick, obviously, but I didn't see the leg because I look at their eyes when they fight. And so I see Chris Wideman go to the ground, and I see the ref wave it off. I'm like, wait, what the hell's going on? And then I look down at the leg and I go, oh my gosh. And I just get up out of and just walk around my apartment for 5 minutes.
Dude, it was so bad. Like I was watching and I looked away for a second, like a split second. And I look back and Chris Wideman is looking upward. And I'm like, he got knocked out. And then like you said, I look down, I see the leg. I'm like, oh my, it was one of the most shocking things ever. It sucks too. I think it was going to be a great fight. I don't know how you felt.
I thought it was going to be awesome. I mean, man. But hey, let's talk Uriah Hall, man. He took that with some class. Uriah Hall is he's one of the most likable guys in the UFC, I think.
Yeah, he's matured a lot. He handled it with real class. And a lot of people were like, oh, he handled it with more class than Wideman did when Anderson broke his leg. But I sent you some stuff. Like Wideman, once he realized, he thought he just was hurt. He didn't know his leg was broke. So that's why, also when Chris Wideman, he won a championship. So when you win a championship, your instinct is to react happy,
Yeah.
Then he did, once he realized, he did console Anderson Silva. All these photos that I saw today of him hunched over Silva when he broke his leg. But it's tough, man. I just hope, it could be the end for Chris Wideman. A lot of people, listening maybe don't know how good he was back in the day.
He's one of the best ever.
One of the best middleweights ever. I mean, his run to the title to knock out a 16 fight. He knocked out Anderson Silva who was on a 16 fight win streak. I mean, that's legendary. And you just hope he can recover from this, maybe take a year off. And I just hope he comes back and fights one more time and just says to everybody, I'm okay, and then retires,
Yeah, I agree. But for Uriah Hall, I think Gastelum or the winner of Hermanson versus Shabazian is the fight to make.
That's a tough one. I like Gastelum coming off a loss. I don't like as much. I like the winner of Shabazian and Hermanson. I think Hermanson probably wins that fight if I had to.
Yeah, why is Shabazian going up?
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. He loses and then gets a tougher fight.
I mean, I feel bad for Shabazian. He's with Taverdian. One
of the worst striking coaches ever. And just look at Ronda Rousey striking. I think Hall versus like Hermanson would be a great fight going forward. And if you was Uriah Hall on like a 3-fight win streak coming into this, right?
Yeah.
The Wideman fight or 4 fights. So if he wins his next fight, you got to start thinking top 5 guy, title down the line. I don't know if he's that great. I mean, physically, the commentary team said it. Physically, Uriah Hall could be a champion. It's just more mental,
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of champion, Valentina Shevchenko is. How's she getting better?
Dude, she's getting better. And I mean, on the feet, it wasn't a competition, but we knew that, right? Dude, 7 takedowns against a BJJ black belt and a really strong wrestler. She ragdolled somebody whose game plan was to ragdoll them. Like she pulled a reverse Uno card. Like it was unbelievable. I can't believe she I thought she would just, head kick in the first round over. To take her down 7 times, and any time Andrade was on the bottom, it was so painful to watch. Like she couldn't do anything.
No. And
then, I mean, you might want to call it an early stoppage, but it was more of like a mercy stoppage. It was like, all right, we've seen enough. Like,
I thought Andrade would be her toughest challenge.
Right? Like with her power and her wrestling, and then
she's so game all the time.
All the time. And then Shevchenko is this bullet. She just bullied her. Like they said too, like Shevchenko is one of the best martial artists, like complete martial artists in the world, and this further proved it.
All right, what's next for Andrade, man? I think she's the best in this division. I don't think there's much question about it. Lauren Murphy,
dude, they fought twice already. People think it should be 1-1 in the series. Like Amanda Nunes, no,
I'm talking about Andrade.
Oh, Andrade. Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah, Murphy.
Maya would be a good fight.
Yeah, Maya. Does Cynthia Calvillo have a fight coming up or no?
I don't know, but let's talk about Shevchenko. We love Andrade. She's awesome. She's one of my favorites. But dude, there's nothing left.
She can't. There's nobody left in her. Maybe her sister down the line, but who would they ever want to fight each other? I don't know. But like I said, Shevchenko and Nunes have fought twice. A lot of people think Shevchenko won one of the fights.
Yeah.
So I think you have to do the trilogy, even though it's 2-0. I think you have to. It's a super fight. It would draw. It should be a headliner, against one of the greatest martial artists in the world, and then the greatest in the world, greatest ever, Amanda Nunes, with KO, like the best power we've ever seen. It has to happen, man. This is the fight to make.
I mean, that'll only happen after Amanda Nunes sends Juliana Pena to the shadow realm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Juliana Pena is going for just... It's going to be like Ngannou Overeem levels of knockout, I think.
I loved how Juliana Pena was like, she's dodging me. Like, no, she's not dodging you. She's just not interested.
Like, Juliana Pena is going to try to wrestle her, and then it's not going to work. So it's going to be a stand-up fight, and then we're just going to see a vicious, brutal KO, That's what's going to happen.
Shevchenko's the fight to make. That's really it. Like, these two have far separated themselves as the best.
And Shevchenko is like 3 times the fighter she was when she lost to Nunes in those couple fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the version we saw of Shevchenko this past weekend is scary for Nunes. And that's saying something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then, or we can do Rose Namajunas. Speaking of Rose Namajunas, wow. Perfectly placed head kick. It was beautiful to watch. I mean,
he's referring to Joey Diaz calling her Rose Namajunas, but carry on.
So Zhang Weili wants the rematch. I'm game for it. I mean, I don't really care. I think that's a good fight to make still. I think Rose just placed the perfect head kick. That's really all there is. And then, what'd you say?
Like Rose on the head kick, looked low. So Zhang Weili thought the kick was going low and then one high, perfect.
Yeah. And then, you have her groomer, Pat Barry, telling her that she's the best.
Oof. I saw a lot of stuff about Pat Barry and Rose that I didn't know about, and I was like, ooh, that's yikes. But if you know, you know. But yeah, I think the rematch. When you agree that the rematch has to happen, because Weili deserved the rematch. She was great before this loss, and it would be another great fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm game. I want it. I want it, to be honest. I think that's the
Another
fight
thing,
to make.
I know a lot of people were like angry at the crowd for booing Zhang Weili, but if an American fighter is fighting in Brazil, they boo and say horrible stuff to the American fighter.
Yeah, they
It's
might
just,
shoot him.
you know what I mean? Like, it just depends on where you are. I know there's a lot of stuff
Ooh,
about
vai
that.
morrer. Ooh, vai morrer.
Exactly, bro. Like, if you have a card in Europe, it just depends on where you are. And
Cards in
also,
Europe are bad.
Florida's crazy, bro. The people there are crazy. So
Also, communism is officially ended in all of the world after this fight. There's no more communism.
dude, I had a friend who's like follows the UFC very casually, and he only cared about this fight for that reason. He's like, we beat it, we beat communism back. I'm like, well, I don't, okay, like,
No more communism, Breck.
I guess it doesn't exist anymore.
There's no communism. Wow. Kamaru Usman knocks out Game Bread Masvidal. I mean, Jorge Masvidal, if he hadn't been, messing around and putting his hands down, maybe he wouldn't have gotten knocked out. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Usman wiped his head clean of all body fluid. What do you think? What'd you think, man?
Yeah, like you said, I think if Masvidal respected his power, he would have been still fighting. You know what I mean? Like he just was like smiling, and it was so odd to see his hands down. You're like, dude, like you were standing across the cage from a savage. Like, put your hands up. Like, you know what I mean? And we just got to give a lot of credit to, in the previous fight, Rose's coach is Trevor Whitman, and then Usman now trains with Trevor Whitman too. And I mean, you could the stand up by Usman has improved so much in the last 3 fights. I mean, he had Usman, fooled with the little left hand, and then the right down the middle is just brutal knockout. And what was it? Masvidal's first time being finished since 2009. So, props to Usman. And we got to start talking about pound for pound best in the world right now with this guy.
Yeah, I can't tell you wrong. And for all the people saying he's the best welterweight of all time, you need to go and shove yourself in your closet, because you are totally wrong. GSP is still by far and away the best welterweight of all time.
The gap is closing.
It's closing, but until he gets 10 title defenses, he's not the greatest of all time, in my opinion.
You could say that, but then you could also argue the competition Usman is facing could be
but
better.
GSP's competition was pretty tough too.
It's true, but I think they're in a room of their own, if you know what I mean. Like, they're the best 2 welterweights of all time.
People forget about Matt Hughes too.
Matt Hughes is great. Don't get me wrong. Matt Hughes is a legend, an icon of the UFC. I think Usman's better. Like, who beats him, bro? Like, we're gonna talk about
Colby.
Colby's the next rematch, and I guess he's the only guy that you could say could beat Usman, because if Usman's 1, Colby's 1A. But Usman's striking is so much better than the striking in the first fight, and he finished him in the first fight. So what's gonna happen now?
Well, think about it. If the ref didn't call it a penis kick or whatever the hell it was, Colby Covington would have won that fight. It was right to the body.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It was definitely 2-2 going into the 5th. It's hard to say Colby would have won the fight, but it's tough. I also don't know if the fight should have been stopped. I don't know how you felt. I think you give Colby like 10 more seconds to try to survive.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
It's entirely possible, man. But
now for Jorge,
respect to Masvidal, from where he used to be to headlining this pay-per-view.
Where should he go next? Luque? I think that's a good fight. Vicente Luque?
It's a good fight, but I don't favor him. Like, I think Luque wins that fight. So I don't know if you want to give him another super tough fight like that right off the bat. Like, Jorge Masvidal is definitely a great fighter, but I mean, if you look at his UFC record, 12-8. I mean, he is in that kind of journeyman bracket, but I don't know, Michael Chiesa.
That's a good fight.
I like him, Michael Chiesa. And also, like, they have Tyron Woodley here, who I think got cut. So
Yeah, he got cut. I think he's gonna fight Jake Paul.
Yeah, I don't know. Jeff Neal would be a fun one.
Yeah, there's a lot of fights to make.
You got to definitely fight like somebody lower. I don't know, Luke. I don't know. That's tough.
Or the loser of Burns Thompson.
Yeah, he's already fought Thompson too, so
it's a good. There's a lot of options for him. But definitely. Let's talk about this PFL, man. Clay Collard put a whooping on Anthony Pettis.
Yeah. Just to backtrack for a sec. I was so impressed with PFL's like presentation, the production value. Like, I loved the little score ticker that showed the punches like as you were watching.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, man. It was really like, I don't know how you felt. I enjoyed it more watching than like watching Bellator. Like,
I mean, just about anything's better than Bellator.
I know that's a low bar, but you know what I mean? Like, I just loved like the commentary team of Couture and Florian with the other guy was great. But like you said, Clay Collard, Cassius Clay Collard, who was the boxer before this. I think this is like his 5th upset or something in between boxing and MMA. And yeah, just dominated Pettis. But then Pettis almost finished him, man. He was like a second away from finishing him with that high kick at the end. And then he hit the flying knee right after. And then Collard tied him up. If he missed tying him up right there, he would have lost the fight. You know, I think Pettis finishes him if he doesn't tie him up there.
But credit to Clay Collard, man.
Yeah, credit to Clay Collard. He fought a great fight. And then another crazy thing on that card too is Lance Palmer got the champion, 2-time lightweight champion. Lance Palmer got ragdolled by Bubba Jenkins.
Yeah,
that was crazy too, man. And supposedly they wrestled in college before, but man, that was crazy too. Seeing the champion just get demolished.
Yeah, it was a fun night. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the event, man. I love their. I want to know how you felt about the ranking system. Like, a win is 3 points, and then you can like lose and then still get a shot at the title at the end, but you keep winning. I like the whole like season thing with the ranking. I think it's unique. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
I think they have PFL 2 coming up, I think Thursday too. We talk about that Thursday.
Yeah, definitely. That John Lineker knockout though. Woo.
Oh, that was brutal, man. He slept him. And then the punch afterwards, I mean, he was out before that punch
Super
landed.
necessary.
Super necessary though. Needed to happen. But yeah, the fight I watched, the fight before was what's the guy's name? I'm losing it. The fight before that?
I can't remember.
It was man, it's killing me. But I mean, regardless, I don't know how you feel. PFL and ONE are like just so much better in my mind than Bellator.
Yeah,
I love these ones on TNT. They're great.
Yeah, man. I got to go to media day yesterday for ONE.
How was that?
Dude, it was really cool. I got to talk to Shinya Aoki.
Dude, wasn't he was set to fight who am I thinking of?
I can't remember.
Is he the one that was supposed to fight Sage Northcutt?
Yes, he was supposed to fight Sage.
Yeah,
but dude, I also got to talk to Renier de Ritter. That was really cool.
That's cool, man. Maybe you can talk to Eddie Alvarez. But
I'm going to media day tonight. Hopefully, I get the chance to talk to him.
Dude, you gotta talk to Eddie. Speaking of Eddie Alvarez, he got his DQ overturned to a no contest.
No contest.
He's fighting this week too, I think. I think he's fighting this week.
Yeah, he's fighting Wednesday. Yeah.
I hope he wins.
I'll ask him about some things, man.
I hope he wins. I want to see him fight for the belt.
I do too. Eddie Alvarez. He says he'll be the greatest lightweight of all time if he gets the 3 belts.
All time is tough, but there's a real argument. I mean,
he's already one of the greatest lightweights of all time.
Yeah, exactly. He's already, I mean, there's an argument if he gets the one belt, and I mean, he has all the belts and the biggest, and he had the UFC belt too. So I mean, it's hard to argue against.
All right. Triller files $100 million lawsuit in damages to illegal streamers.
Ooh, little word out, little message for Triller: you're gonna lose. The streamers will always win. Dana White, the head of the UFC, they're like, oh, you remember that whole fight night thing with Conor?
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we're gonna catch this guy. We got one of them. Next weekend, all the regular streams that everybody uses back up and running. Still back up and running. Good job, Dana. Good job, Uncle Dana. So Triller, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. I'm not gonna say any of our favorite streaming platforms on here because.
Oh no, bro. We got the Russian link. Don't worry. Like Khabib said to DC that one time in the gym. He's like, DC's like, you got to pay for my fight, brother. And he goes, no. We have Russian link.
No, brother. We have Russian link.
We have Russian link.
Nick Diaz, man.
Dude, Dana said he has he wants to fight in the post-cut press conference. That's really terrible to give Nick Diaz his first fight back a killer like that. What about Robbie Lawler, bro? They fought 20 years ago, right? When they were super 20-year-old, when they were 20 years old, they fought. Yeah. Have them fight 20 years later. That's fight for me. Robbie Lawler, Nick Diaz.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Conor Usman?
Well, I love Conor, but he's talking a little bit of nonsense right now. Like Usman would, even if Conor stood with him and didn't get a hit, Usman would just take him. He would just ragdoll him on the ground. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think Conor needs to get the belt at 155, which I think he will, to be honest.
I mean, it'd be tough. He's got to beat Poirier first, man. That's a tough fight.
Poirier wants to do it at 170. I don't want him to do it at 170.
No, it's got to be a 170.
There's too many implications on the line at 155.
Yeah, and there's no implications at 170. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
But man, it sucks Khabib retired, man. Because you imagine right now if they were working for a Usman Khabib at 170 fight.
That'd be great.
That'd be a super fight.
Grappling. It'd be a grappling showcase.
Yeah, and Usman's never been taken down, and you have to think Khabib would take him down once. You know what I mean?
Yeah, brother, I take you down. I smish.
I just wonder too. You think Usman? He's kind of already cleaned out the division. Maybe he cleans it out again. He said he'll never move up to 85, right? But there's so many fights I want to see Usman at 185.
Yeah.
Whitaker, Usman at 185. That's a
banger.
Paulo Costa, Usman
he won't move up because of Izzy.
But if Izzy, like you said to me the other day, if Izzy loses the belt, which is very possible against a wrestler like Vettori, would he fight Vettori? That would be a fun fight,
That'd be a fun fight. Marvin Vettori. I miss Darren Till, man.
Should have been Darren. If Darren Till had just stayed healthy and won the fight, he'd be fighting for the belt right now.
Yeah. He didn't drink enough Modelo and eat enough P3.
Dude, people got to understand that, your fridge should be stocked with Modelo's and your cabinet should be stocked with the official protein snack of the UFC, P3, okay? Brought to you with the fighting spirit.
I forgot to go to the store before the fights and get some.
Dude, always got to have it, ready for fight night.
My 21st birthday party is going to be on a Saturday. It's just going to be Modelo and P3s.
It's a giant spread, a giant buffet style. And everybody's like, where's all the food? You're like, it's here. It's the P3.
Where's the drinks? Check the fridge for the Modelos. Stephen A. Smith has finally admitted I'm not an expert on the UFC.
Yeah, wow, shocker. I mean, water is wet, I mean, you don't. I mean, that. At least he said it because he just looks more of a clown every time he tries to talk about UFC.
Yeah, Plus, he said, plus, I'm not an expert like idiots out there try to accuse me of pretending that I am because I'm commentating. No, I'm a fan. I'm not an expert on the UFC. I didn't start watching until a few years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. They should just never have him on UFC.
Dude,
Like,
that was so embarrassing. Why would you have him between? Why would you give him Rogan? Really?
I don't know, man. It was.
I'm trying to see what else there is.
Yeah, I don't know.
No excuse. Come on, Cole. I think we need that rematch ASAP.
Who?
Covington Usman. We need that ASAP.
It's the fight to make. But who said it today? Like the winner of Edwards Diaz has a real chance at fighting for the title too.
If it's Diaz, yes, that's the fight.
Diaz, like he can fight for just because of his name. He'll draw so much pay-per-view buys, and he's such a draw that the UFC like would have to seriously consider it.
Yeah.
You're Covington, like you got to sign a contract soon.
Marty Fake Newsman. All right, Breck.
He's not Marty anymore.
All right, any final thoughts before we end this show?
No, I just wanted to like, out of all the pay-per-views I've watched, and I haven't been a fan for as long as, some people, but this is like a top 5 pay-per-view ever I've seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even the longtime fans were saying this is like a top 5 pay-per-view ever. So
it's awesome.
It was one of the funnest like watching entertainment like events I've seen in a long time.
Oh, can we go through what May has in store for us?
Oh, it's crazy, bro. That rundown.
All right.
There's so many good fights.
So this weekend,
and those are just headlines.
Yeah. So this weekend we have Dominic Reyes versus Yuri Prochaska, and then a featherweight bout Swanson Chikadze, Ion Kudalov versus Dustin Jacoby. Oh my gosh, Christoph. Oh, this main card's awesome Saturday.
It's awesome.
And then
just go through the headliners for the month. Don't go each one.
Sandhagen versus Dillashaw on May 8th.
That's the best one of the whole month. Like, that's crazy, that fight.
Charlie Olives versus Michael Chandler, headlining 262.
For the belt.
Yep, and then you got Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz after that, as the co-main, rather. Mm-hmm. And then, not 263, dang it. And then we have Font versus Garbrandt.
Another great fight. Awesome fight.
Tremendous fight. 100%. 100%. All right, anything else, Breck?
I got nothing. I think we covered everything. But once again, like shout out UFC putting on another great event. Shout out One for putting on great events this week, and shout out PFL for putting on great event this week.
Yeah. All right, guys, that'll do it for us here. Breck, thanks for coming on. We hope Daniel comes back from the Shadow Realm.
I'm getting real sad. It's like it's starting to take a toll mentally on me. It's like you just want to hear Dan's voice, It's like anytime we hear from Dan in the Shadow Realm, it's like whispering. It's like help me, and then he fades away. Like it's so sad, man. We gotta get him back.
I'm seeing him Thursday.
Dude, you should like hold him hostage, like lock him in a room, be like, you're gonna be on the podcast Monday.
Yeah, I'm seeing him Thursday for the draft show. So
convince him. You gotta convince him to be on.
All right, I will. All right, Breck. That'll do it for us here. We'll see you guys next time.